Chapter 3 Sacred Cats of Bastet. As Hope and Kayamwaset made their way along the stone-paved path toward Memphis, the morning air filled with sounds and scents unlike anything Hope had ever experienced. The sweet fragrance of lotus blossoms drifted from the river, mixed with the earthy smell of wet mud and something spicy that made her whiskers twitch with curiosity. "That scent is myrrh," Kayamwaset explained, noticing her interest. "The priests burn it in the temples as an offering to the gods." "We are approaching the sacred district now." Hope looked ahead and gasped. Rising before them was the most magnificent building she had ever seen. Made of gleaming white limestone that seemed to glow in the morning sun, the temple was massive, with enormous columns carved to look like lotus flowers, and walls covered in the colorful hieroglyphic symbols she was beginning to recognize. "The Temple of Bastet," Kayamwaset announced with obvious pride, "home to the most sacred cats in all of Egypt and my place of service." "Cats live in the temple?" Hope asked, fascinated. "Not just live, we are honored guests of the goddess herself," Kayamwaset replied, his chest puffing out slightly. "Bastet is the protector of cats, goddess of home and fertility, and guardian against evil spirits. Every cat in Egypt is sacred to her, but we temple cats are her special servants." As they approached the temple entrance, Hope began to understand just how different this ancient world was from her own time. People walking past, men in simple white linen kilts, women in long dresses with elaborate jewelry, stopped to bow respectfully when they saw Kayamwaset. Some even left small offerings of fish or milk beside the temple steps. "They're bowing to you?" Hope whispered, amazed. "To all cats," Kayamwaset corrected gently. "In our land, to harm a cat, even accidentally, is a crime punishable by death. To kill a cat deliberately means death and judgment in the afterlife by Bastet herself." Hope's blue eyes widened. In her time, she was beloved by the Morrison family, but she'd never been considered sacred. The idea that an entire civilization revered cats was both wonderful and slightly overwhelming. A young priest in a white linen robe appeared at the temple entrance. When he saw Kayamwaset, his face lit up with genuine pleasure. "Kayamwaset, my friend," the priest said, kneeling down to gently scratch behind the spotted cat's ears. "And who is this beautiful visitor?" "I have never seen a cat with such unusual coloring." "This is Hope, Kenti," Kayamwaset replied. "She has traveled very far to be here, and I believe the gods have sent her for a purpose." Hope was startled to realize she could understand the priest's words perfectly, just as she could understand Kayamwaset. Whatever magic had brought her here seemed to include the gift of understanding all languages. The priest, Kenti, studied Hope with intelligent dark eyes. "She has the bearing of nobility. Those blue eyes are like pieces of the sky itself. Welcome, Hope, to the house of Bastet." As they entered the temple, Hope's breath caught in her throat. The interior was even more magnificent than the outside. Sunlight streamed through high windows, illuminating walls painted with scenes of cats in various activities: hunting, playing with children, sitting beside pharaohs. Golden statues of Bastet, depicted as both a cat and a woman with a cat's head, stood in alcoves filled with flowers and burning incense. But what truly amazed Hope were the cats. Dozens of them lounged throughout the temple, Egyptian mouse like Kayamwaset, sleek black cats, tabbies, and even a few with unusual markings she didn't recognize. Some wore jeweled collars, others had their claws painted with gold, and all of them moved with the confident grace of animals who knew they were treasured. "There are so many," Hope breathed. "Over 60 cats call this temple home," Kayamwaset said proudly. "We each have our duties. Some of us patrol for mice and rats that might damage the sacred scrolls. Others provide comfort to worshippers who come seeking Bastet's blessing. The eldest among us serve as oracles, interpreting dreams and omens." An ancient tabby cat with graying whiskers approached them, moving slowly but with great dignity. Her golden collar was more elaborate than any Hope had seen, set with small precious stones that caught the light. "Kayamwaset," the elderly cat said, her voice carrying the authority of great age and wisdom. Present your unusual guest. Venerable Nebet, this is Hope, who has come to us from a distant land and time, Kaimwasit said respectfully. Hope, this is Nebet, eldest of the temple cats and keeper of our most ancient memories. Hope shifted nervously. I don't know anything about magic. I just want to find my way home to my family. Nebet settled herself gracefully, tucking her paws beneath her chest. Tell me of this family of yours. Do they honor cats, as is proper? Oh yes, Hope said eagerly. Emma, she's 8 years old. She adores me. She's always telling me I'm beautiful and smart. And her parents, Sarah and Michael, they take wonderful care of me. I have my own special bed and toys and the best food. But do they worship you? Nebet asked seriously. Do they build temples in your honor? Do they believe you carry the blessings of the gods? Hope hesitated. Well, no. They love me very much, but they don't think I'm divine. In my time, cats are pets, beloved pets, but still pets. Several of the temple cats who had gathered to listen made sounds of dismay. One young black cat looked particularly shocked. Pets? He exclaimed. Like dogs? Not exactly like dogs, Hope said quickly, sensing she'd somehow said something offensive. Cats are more independent, but yes, we're companion animals. We live with human families because we want to, not because they worship us. Nebet's whiskers twitched thoughtfully. How curious. In your time, have humans forgotten the old ways entirely? Do they no longer understand that cats are the guardians between the world of the living and the realm of spirits? I don't think they ever knew that, Hope admitted, at least not where I come from. Then perhaps, Nebet said slowly, you have been brought here to remember what has been forgotten. The goddess works in mysterious ways, and it is not unknown for her to send messages across the great river of time itself. Before Hope could ask what Nebet meant, Kenti the priest approached their group, his face grave with concern. Venerable ones, he said, addressing the cats formally, I bring troubling news. Another of our sacred cats has vanished in the night. That makes 5 in the past moon cycle. Hope felt the mood in the temple change instantly. The lounging cats sat up alertly, ears pricked forward, and several began making distressed sounds. Who is missing now? Kayamwasit asked urgently. Young Anku, the black tom with the white chest mark, Kenti replied. He was here for the evening prayers, but this morning he was nowhere to be found. This cannot continue, Nebet said, her aged voice carrying steel. Our numbers grow fewer, and the people grow fearful. They whisper that perhaps Bastet has withdrawn her protection from Memphis. Hope listened with growing interest. A mystery. In her own time, she'd always been curious about puzzles. She was constantly investigating strange sounds in the Morrison house, or tracking down the source of interesting scents. Have you searched for them? She asked. The missing cats, I mean? Kenti nodded sadly. We have looked everywhere. In the temple complex, along the riverbank, throughout the sacred district. It is as if they simply vanished like smoke. But cats don't just vanish, Hope pointed out logically. Even sacred cats. There has to be a trail, some clue about where they went. Kayamwaset's green eyes lit up with sudden hope. Hope speaks wisely. We have been searching with human eyes and human logic, but perhaps we need to search with cat senses and cat thinking. You would help us? Nebet asked, studying Hope intently. Even though these are not your gods, not your temple, not your time? Hope thought about Emma, safe at home working on her Egypt project, completely unaware that her beloved cat was having an actual ancient Egyptian adventure. Emma would want her to help if she could. And despite being far from home and out of her own time, Hope was still a cat, and cats helped other cats. Of course I'll help, she said firmly. Cats take care of each other no matter when or where they are. A murmur of approval rippled through the assembled temple cats. Even ancient Nebet looked pleased. Then we shall form a search party, Kayamwaset declared. But we must be clever about this. If someone is taking our temple cats, they will be watching for our usual search patterns. Someone is taking them? Hope asked, her fur beginning to bristle with indignation. You mean this isn't just cats wandering off? No ordinary cat would leave the temple willingly, Nebbit explained. We are fed the finest fish, given the softest sleeping places, and honored by priests and visitors alike. For 5 cats to disappear suggests darker purposes. Hope felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cool temple stones. In her own time, she'd heard terrible stories about people who stole cats for bad reasons. But in ancient Egypt, where cats were sacred, who would dare to commit such a crime? We'll find them, she promised, surprised by the fierce determination in her own voice. And we'll stop whoever is doing this. As if responding to her words, a shaft of sunlight broke through the high temple windows, illuminating the golden statue of Bastet. For just a moment, Hope could have sworn she saw the goddess's cat eyes gleam with approval. Whatever had brought her to this ancient time, Hope was beginning to understand that it might not have been an accident after all.